Oh, geez. Are you ready? Oh, gosh. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so I guess I should start by introducing myself, huh? So, okay. Hi, my name is Khala Simmons. I am a former newspaper editor, blogger, publicist, podcaster, and most recently, the founder of Boujee Boss Media. Boujee Boss Media is a mass media company that produces premium entertainment and educational content. I'd say that our mission is to redefine luxury beyond materialism, but also as a state of mind and a state of being through disruptive storytelling. Geez, how did we get started? Well, for that, I'm gonna have to take it all the way back to the beginning. So I feel like to truly understand how Boujee Boss Media came into existence, I first need to provide some context on our initial flagship program. So back in August of 2020, I launched the Boujee Boss Up podcast. And this was before Boujee Boss Media was ever thought. It just all started as a podcast that I launched. No clue, no direction whatsoever. I was literally just covering whatever topics I thought would stick at the time. And so it was definitely a very chaotic period. If you go back and listen to those like early initial episodes. And then as we began to move into 2021, you know, I kept experimenting, and that's definitely the year where I really started to bring on a lot more guests. And it's also when I first introduced the video component.
What's up, babes? Welcome back to another episode of the Boujee Boss Up podcast, the premier safe space for women ready to boss up in their business, their relationships, and their self-development.
That was a very pivotal time for me because in that year, especially like as I started inching towards the middle of the year, I was realizing that the path that I was going down wasn't aligned with my overall purpose. And that applied to not only the podcast, but it applied to my current business at the time. It applied to my 9-to-5 career, my living situation, literally everything. It was just, I just wasn't in the space that I needed to be in. And I knew a shift needed to take place, but I didn't yet have the clarity that I needed in order to know what to do next. So entering into 2022, I definitely started to get some more of that clarity that I was looking for. I had just started my career in PR, which was a huge goal of mine at the time. And, you know, I was making plans to like move to the big city, which anyone who knows me knows that that has literally been a lifelong dream. And so it was interesting because shortly after I moved to Manhattan, and this was April of 2022, I kind of hit ahead when it came to not only the podcast, but my brand again, because it's like, okay, my living situation, I upgraded that. My 9-to-5 career, I upgraded that. And so now it's like, what are we going to do with this brand? Because something still felt off, right? And so I made the scary decision to take a break indefinitely shortly after I moved. And when I say indefinitely, I mean indefinitely. Like I didn't have any sort of idea when I was going to come back. If I was going to come back, the capacity in which I was going to come back, I knew that there were some major changes on the horizon, and I would only find the clarity in that regard on the other side of like this break, right? And so that's when I really entered my season of silence, as I call it. I talked a lot about that period on season 4 of the podcast, but it was a really crucial period for me, and it gave me exactly the clarity that I needed in order to know what I needed to do. And that is like the true space where Boujee Boss Media was born. So ultimately, as a result, I decided that I was going to do away with my previous brand. I was going to revamp the Boujee Boss Up podcast to add a little bit more structure and cohesiveness, just in terms of the direction we were headed in and the overall vision. And then I was going to form a new brand, kind of building on the podcast and all of the other media skill sets that I had acquired over the years. And so once I kind of just decided, like, hey, I'm going to do this, that's when all the cards started falling into place. So specifically with my team, I have this really close friend. Her name is Shaneece, and she's also a fellow entrepreneur. We had already for years at that point kind of been serving as like consultants for each other's brands, as like a lot of friends who are entrepreneurs do. And so I said, you know what, you've already been helping provide some creative direction, with the projects that we're working on and the initiatives and all that. So might as well make it official. And so that's how she ended up coming on as our creative director. And then with our chief creative officer, Erica Ortiz, I actually met Erica at a conference in February of 2022. We became fast friends, kept in touch. We also served as aid to each other's business. She is a bomb-ass brand designer, like some of the best design work I've ever seen. And I immediately knew that I wanted to have her like do our logos, like help just design our brand aesthetic, all of those base core visuals that, really resonate with people. Like for the big vision that I had, I knew she would be able to help take us there. And so she ended up agreeing to come on and like immediately got to work. And then with the podcast, I knew I would need some more help with that. And so I actually made fast friends with this young woman named Jasmine. I actually met her in a Facebook group. I want to say it was like March of 2020, and literally it was one of those Facebook groups for when you were like trying to find a roommate, because like I said, I moved to New York in April, and so we met in a Facebook group. We didn't end up living together, but we ended up keeping in touch and becoming friends. And she's also a phenomenal singer-songwriter. She's an artist, and I don't know, I just felt like there was some vibes there, which was rare for me. Like I usually don't like to work with friends, which I know that may sound a little bit weird just because like I was friends with Shaneece and Erica, but I met them on a business base first and then we became friends. And so usually anytime I connect with people on a friend level first, I don't like to go into business with them, but there was just something about Jasmine. We were talking about our goals and our dreams, and I felt like she really just got what I was saying, and she bought into the vision that I was sharing. And so she agreed to come on to help as the podcast production assistant. And so we kicked off meetings with that in August, and it was literally just like take off from there. So now, I've got this powerhouse team. Erica is working on the logos, the fonts, the colors, the social kit, like all those core base design assets that we need. And then Jasmine and I are, for one, outlining the new structure of the show, because before the season we didn't have seasons, so we had to like define that. We didn't have segments, so we established those. And then once we had like the core structure of the episodes and the seasons, then we began to actually outline the episodes for season 4. And man, that was just like so much fun.
What I do like about the last one is she was talking about like we don't have to social justice warrior everything all the time.
Favorite phrase to use, child.
No, that is, and I say that all the time.
That's my work publisher. That's her phrase she likes to use.
No, yeah, she was saying SJW, and at first I was like, what is SJW? And I was like, oh, social justice warrioring. Girl, and I be saying that too. Oh, do you care if this person does this and the third? I'm like, I'm not gonna be social justice warrior for everybody. I'm not. I will not defend to the ends everything. Like, no.
People, because if y'all group me with Kanye one more time, it's about to be a damn problem.
You said group you with Kanye?
Cause you know how they be like weed. I'm like, weed ain't shit. Like, don't put me in that damn conversation.
Don't talk crazy and then try to group us together. I didn't say that. You said it, not me. You said it, not me.
Yeah, don't be. That's why I'm like, generalizations all around. Like, that is the detriment of this society, is generalizations and extremes. People judge based on extremes, but act based on that in between.
It was also super fun because like in the midst of us having our production meetings about, you know, what we were going to cover in the podcast episodes, I would also be giving her updates on just like the overall like brand updates with Boujee Boss Media. And I would be like sharing, you know, when Erica would finally share over like the initial drafts of designs, and like the whole team would like geek out over it. This is the secondary one. This is the sub mark.
Wait, which one's the main one? The one on the left?
The one at the top is the main
The big one, yeah.
This is the alternative secondary one. I really liked how she incorporated disruptive. This is like the sub mark. And then on, you know, back on the podcast front, Jasmine and I are like, we are knocking the content out of the park. Like, we had so much fun outlining these episodes, and almost every production meeting would turn into some like little like tangent and a side conversation where we're just like venting and gossiping. But it was so fun and it was so raw. And I think that that was like definitely reflected in the final episodes that you guys saw.
Because this country was built on faulty, you know, foundations and promises, that means that I'm not supposed to find joy in anything. That means I'm not supposed to indulge in anything. That means I'm supposed to suffer through everything. I think the truth of the matter is, I find that a lot of people in our culture have what I like to call a struggle kink. To where it's like, because we've been subjected to so much struggle, because it's been the norm, it's almost offensive when you don't choose to reside in that space constantly.
Now, in the midst of this, I'm still doing all of like the mundane administrative tasks, you know, to set the actual business, this new business up for success. So I'm like handling all the stuff with the LLC, and oh my gosh, filing an LLC in New York is crazy. Like, I had to dissolve the previous LLC, like all of the financial stuff, getting the web logistics together, literally the whole nine. And then, you know, I'm also trying to keep in mind this schedule here to just make sure that we're tracking okay. So back on the creative front, I had actually scheduled production week to fall on the first week of November. And I figured that could also double as us, you know, using that time for the brand content shoot for like the overall Boujee Boss Media brand as well. Because, you know, we had to get images for the site and like the socials and like all of those core brand elements as well. And plus, of course, you know, new brand have to like do all the updated podcast branding stuff. So I figured we could do like a 2-for-1, knock it all out in one go. I took the whole week, that whole week off from work, because I really wanted to be overly intentional about how I approach things this time around. And so, yeah, got all the wardrobe stuff together, like signed up for the Airbnb, which that really hurt my feelings when that payment came out of my bank account. But you know, quality costs, it's okay. And so got all of that stuff together. And then it's like, before we knew it, like we had finished outlining the season and production week was upon us. Getting to the venue was such a doozy. Oh my gosh. I rented out this Airbnb in Newark, New Jersey, just because it seemed to like fit the aesthetic for like what I was wanting in the space and all of that. Which, you know, pro tip, like obviously renting out content spaces to like shoot and all of that can be very expensive and daunting and add up quick. And so my mantra for recording like video content has always just been to rent out an Airbnb instead, because when you think about it, most times the cost that you would pay for an Airbnb for a few days would equate to like renting out a content space for like one day. And so, you know, if I'm gonna spend a nice little bag, I might as well be able to eat and sleep there as well. You know what I'm saying? So I rented out this space, but getting there was a mess. It was my first time going to Jersey by train. I had all my luggage with like, and it was my big suitcase. Like I had all my equipment and stuff, so it was super heavy, and like I'm like walking down the street in Newark, New Jersey, which, you know, it's not the same as walking down the street in New York, let me just tell you that. And so nonetheless, I finally got there, and then like you know, I had my wig out because I had all my wardrobe stuff, and Shaneece actually lives like 20 minutes from this Airbnb, so she had stopped in and like had to braid my hair down for me so I could style it. It was a very chaotic night. And then after she left, I went ahead and kind of like set up shop, went ahead and started setting up the lighting and all of that stuff so that I could be, you know, ready to go for the next day. The first day of shooting actually was Halloween, and I didn't even begin filming until later that night. But it actually kind of worked out because I think, you know, I just wanted to take my time getting ready and just setting up so the vibes would be right when I finally got on the mic, got on camera, the whole nine. And I really feel like doing that set the tone for the entire week.
First episode down. Now we gotta take pictures and change and shoot the second and last episode of the nights. Signing off.
I don't think that creators get enough credit for how much goes into producing major projects like this. All the little nuances that we have to account for that most people don't even think twice about, you know, just making sure you have your SD cards and lighting and like wardrobe, the cameras, like the tech, if the mics are not working right, you know, and that's just even more so on the technical end. Like, and then when you're doing it alone, it's even more amplified because then it's like you don't have someone to help you press record, someone to take pictures of you and get that behind the scenes content, and a lot goes into it, and it just makes my respect for these people elevate all the more, especially now knowing what that's like to be on the other side of things. So day 2 on Tuesday, by then I had already just accepted that I'd always be shooting at night, at least for the solo episodes. And so it was definitely a late night. And a big reason for that is because the lights, oh my gosh. The lights, oh, it gave me the biggest headache because, you know, listen, I've learned a lot over the years about filming and all the things, but man, like I was trying to, you know, test out different aesthetics, make the most of my time and like all that sort of thing. And so it took forever to try to like finagle the lighting because I had my LED lights, but the way that it was coming off on camera wasn't the way that it looked in real life, and I was trying to tweak that, and it was like the worst like 2 hours of my life. Maybe not the worst, but it was definitely pretty stressful, I will say.
It is currently 1:50 a.m. and I just spent the last couple hours, well, I spent a good chunk of that time trying to fix the lighting and play around with it, and then I spent maybe 30 to 40 minutes actually recording the episode, and now I'm about to record the second one. Let's see if we can get her all done by like 2:45, 2:50. I'll give myself 2:50. I think we can do it, maybe even by 2:30. We'll see. 2:50.
And so it was just a chaotic time. And there was even a point where like when I actually finally got to recording, I didn't realize that I forgot to cut back on my LED light because I would like cut it off while I wasn't filming and try to preserve the battery. And man, I forgot to cut it back on during like one portion of recording, and I was just like, you know what? Like these are the woes. These are the things that people don't talk about, especially when, you know, you're not a professional like videographer and like, you know, you don't have the full team. Like this is what I mean when I say it's just so hard to produce content at this level, especially when you're doing it alone. But nonetheless, we were able to get it all done.
I finished right at 2:50, called it, and now I'm gonna wipe this all off and go to bed, hopefully, because It's 3 in the morning.
And then came Wednesday.
Hey, checking in. So it's currently Wednesday. Excuse the mess, child. It's just the lace is not lacing right now. It look crazy, but it's Wednesday, November. What is today? November 2nd, I think. Yeah, November 2nd. And so today I was supposed to record episodes 8 and 9. And it's currently 6:49. Usually I'd be like getting ready right now to start filming because I've been filming at like nighttime since it just seems to be like best. Like that's just kind of how things work out. But I am just not feeling it. I'm just not in the headspace. Of course I'm tired. I've been tired since I got here, but I just don't feel like doing the makeup, turning on the lights and playing around with that and then recording. And I don't want that energy to come off on camera, obviously. I've worked too hard to pull all this together just to like get on camera, get on the mic and record and my energy not be low. So, you know, you guys saw last night, it was a late night, and I mean I got some rest. I slept pretty much all day. Like my sleeping habits have like reversed. Like I'm like up all night and I sleep all day. I got a good amount of sleep, but like it just, I don't know, I'm not in the headspace for it. And so I decided, you know, I'm gonna honor this. One thing that I, you know, when it comes to being intentional, like, is I don't want to force things this time. The week is passing by fast, but I'm just gonna listen to my body. I'm gonna listen, you know, to the, you know, the mission of this brand, practice what I preach. And so yeah, I think that's how I'm gonna rework that. Tomorrow we are recording 3 episodes, 1 ad, but I think it'll be fine because I'll start a lot earlier, record the first 2, wait, maybe record the ad as well, which that won't take very long at all. And then yeah, record, wait until Jasmine gets here to record the season finale. And then Friday, and we record all 3 of the guest interviews, and then we'll be done, which is crazy.
So yeah, even after all of that, I technically never filmed anything on Thursday either.
Okay, so it is currently about 12:50 a.m. probably on Friday. So obviously, I mean, I guess technically on Thursday, I didn't record the 3 episodes. I started getting ready last night, probably like technically not until like about 10. And I was ready by 12 pretty much, but I was like going back and forth like with mapping out my accessories because I don't know, like, but I don't know. I just decided to take my time and not stress it. This is the last time that I'll be like by myself before everyone gets here. Like later today, we're doing all of the interviews. You'll get to officially meet everyone. And then tomorrow, like this is the last day for recording. So I guess technically I'm filming 6 episodes today, but I don't know. I'm just trying to like, I'm just vibing. I'm just like going with the flow.
I just want to come on the record and say that I hated the way my outfit came together for episode 8, but that's neither here nor there. Moving on to episode 9, started recording that, and what do you know? That filming took an unexpected turn as well.
So y'all, this is where I know you're used different. I said I might be back. I have not done yet with recording, and it's currently 3:18 a.m. I don't know. We'll see if I can finish by 4:30 because I'm not even in the middle of like recording episodes. Like I'm like I'm not usually if I'm like recording, I'm in between. Like I just finished recording a full episode and then I'm about to go record another one, or I'm done for the day. But I'm actually in the middle of recording an episode, which is episode 9. And y'all, again, I don't know if you can tell, my eyes are a little like wet. I mean, but you can tell, like, looks like I've been crying because girl, I've never cried on camera, on film. Like, but I got to talking about the bougie bite for that episode, and obviously by now, like, you're watching this, I would hope you've seen the season, and the bougie bite for this episode was around like, what's it called, like World Teen Mental Health Day or something like that. Yeah, World Teen Mental Wellness Day. I was not expecting to like get a little emotional, but it just, there's people in my mind that I'm thinking about as I'm talking about this, and it's really important, guys. It's really important to listen to them, and it's really important to be open and to not be dismissive and to not write it off as them being dramatic or anything like that, because it's like you really don't know what that might trigger or set off in them. So like, please, as adults, it's our job to create safe spaces for these kids. And so yeah, I'm actually I still have to record the meat of this episode, which is about embracing your season of silence. So yeah, but I just wanted to come on here because that
Listen, I know at this point I can't even call it a late night anymore. It was pretty much an early morning, and I was definitely running on straight fumes.
Okay, it is currently 4:28. No, I'm not done yet, child. I just got ready. I'm about to film the season finale. This is the last solo episode. So I'm gonna just try to have some fun with this one. Next time you see me, I will have officially finished all of the solo episodes. So yeah, let's get to it.
When it came time to film the finale, which was also the last solo episode that I had to film, of course, things didn't go to plan with that either. I didn't even end up recording the episode or finishing it until minutes before Erica got to the Airbnb to start recording the interviews. It was crazy.
Hey y'all, I am here in Newark. I drove 15 hours. I'm just lying. Wait, hold on, start it over again. It wasn't 15.
I'm gonna cut it.
Okay. We drove 10 hours to come and be on Boujee Boss. Not just to come, to be the first guest of the Boujee Boss Media podcast. I am so excited. And I'm so proud of you. Like, hold on. Y'all, I'm so proud of her. Look how good she looks. Like, really? She looks so good, y'all. But we are here. The podcast was so good. If y'all hear me stuttering, mind your business, okay? But y'all can follow me at Her Time Is Brand. I'm going to see y'all later. Bye.
Okay.
Once everyone showed up, we did not get any behind the scenes footage at all until the very end of the day. But honestly, it was just such a good time, and the process went so well.
That's a wrap. Season 4, y'all only seen me in about 20, almost 24 hours, just under, maybe about 20 hours or so. I said I was going to come back on after I finished recording the last one. I didn't even record that until like a few hours later. And then I never ended up going to sleep. The team started coming through today. You guys met Erica in the first, in one of the clips before. You'll get to see these guys more tomorrow. Jasmine, she had to dip out. She came, she spent all day here with me. Child, we took a nap and it was glorious. Because otherwise I would have been up for over 24 hours straight. And the Shaneece got here. She brought us food that I have yet to eat. And yeah, so now I'm just going to gloriously, I've had this makeup on for over 24 hours and it's time to take it off. So I'm about to do all of that, but we are officially wrapped. We're all done filming all of season 4.
And now we're moving on to the Boujee Boss Media brand shoot day. All right, guys, it's the next day. As you can see, I am ready for a photo shoot. I'm really proud of myself. I love the way the makeup turned out. The hair, I did what I could. Like, I'm not like the best, but I probably could have gotten it like tighter and stuff, but it'll work. I also wish I had a better bra. This isn't even a strapless bra, but it'll work. So I'm excited. I think these pictures are gonna come out so cute. So yeah, let's get to it. So when it came to my inspiration for the look per se of the brand, I was heavily inspired by the 60s, you know, when it came to the makeup, like that heavy eye makeup look, the whole Twiggy vibe, and, you know, the retro fashion, the big hair. Like, that was definitely my vibe. And I think you could even see that throughout, like, the hairstyles and even the wardrobe throughout the podcast season, but especially for the brand shoot. And man, I invested a lot of time and money into like getting the wardrobe together, not just like the outfits and the hair, but like the accessories to like really try to pull the look together, not only for me, but for the entire team. And man, like our looks came together so well. I was so happy with the way everything turned out. Of course, so I told her I'm just getting like B-roll of us like talking, then I'm gonna take excerpt clips and like slow-mo it for like effect. So just like vibe, like let's just Boujee Boss Media. We bougie boss bitches. Okay. I'm her. Kayla, you know it. Come on, bling. I need somebody to bling me up real good. Period. Wipe her up. Stop playing. Cheese. Okay. No, this looks so cute.
Yeah, this look really good. The way the colors coordinated.
It really did work out. Let me make sure my titty don't pop out.
Shades of pink, honey.
Let's do like a little like group like hug laugh thing. Like
yes,
my earring got caught. My earring got caught in yours. Oh, this is cute. Yeah, no.
Oh, we did a peace sign at the same time. That's cute. This is so good. We so good. This is really cute.
And of course, in true fashion, I do not remember to record the introductory Meet Jasmine and Shaneece clips until after we wrapped the whole shoot. Meet the team. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Shaneece. I'm the creative director.
I'm Jasmine. I'm the production assistant.
If you could describe working with me in one word, what would it be?
Okay.
Fun. Okay.
Like for me, I have to get real organized, quick.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Organized.
Order.
You give order together.
Oh my god.
Togetherness.
Well, that's
You
been
give 'em
fun.
points.
We were supposed to record the official ones, but today's just been crazy.
It's been an awesome day, actually. We got stuff done. We had
Yes.
a fun food.
Well, yeah, like what was your favorite? Like, what do you think? Was it better than you expected, or was it worse? Was it
Honestly,
as you
it went by faster
expected?
than I thought.
I thought it would be more
I thought it would
lengthy.
take long. Yeah.
A lot of takes.
We was in and out. You were like, okay, 1, 2, you're good.
You're good. Yeah.
And the pictures came out really good. Like, my favorite part is the outfits and how they like coordinated together.
Yeah, insert picture here.
We look so good. Like,
it was fun too because we were able to just be ourselves and just free flow, good energy, get it done, and we out.
Exactly. Period. Team Boujee.
Amen. Amen. All right, that's a wrap. I love them. All right, guys. So Jasmine just left. Shaneece left a little while ago, actually, shortly after the last clip that you just saw. And yeah, straighten up a little bit. Well, straighten up most stuff. Still have to like organize my suitcase before I leave in the morning. But yeah, about to turn in for the night, try to get some rest before I leave the Airbnb tomorrow morning. But yeah, it's It's been a productive week, an eventful week. There are a lot of things that, I don't know, like almost everything was different than what I expected, but honestly, I think it all worked out great. Like, I feel really happy and excited about what we were able to do. I'd say the hardest part about executive producing the podcast, honestly, it goes even beyond the podcast, because I think just the fact of like having to be both in front of and behind the camera, being both the creative talent and the visionary, not just for the podcast, but for the brand as a whole. You know, it becomes really hard to have to kind of step in and out of those roles, especially, you know, when filming for the season, because even though I am still being myself, it's an amplified version of myself, because, you know, you're creating content that is meant to entertain, right? And so having to go from like dealing with lighting woes and like all the technical difficulties with filming and your camera equipment and like all of that sort of stuff, to have to then kind of tap into whatever topic that you're covering for the podcast and be able to connect in front of the camera, you know, it can definitely be hard to kind of have to step in and out of those spaces so quickly. And so I think that's just been the biggest challenge, but it's also been the most rewarding thing when you finally can look back at what you've created, because even though it may not be perfect, even though you can spot, you know, areas of improvement, it still is very validating to just know that like, hey, even though I need to improve in this area, you know, this is definitely, you know, a space where we can do better. And nonetheless, you tried and it was still better than where you were when you started. And so overall, I'm really proud of what we were able to do. Thanks for tagging along through production week. Now we're entering post-production. We've got just under 2 months. So about 2.5 months until launch now. Or no, not 2.5 months, a month and a half until launch. Whew, cheers to a successful production week. Thank you guys for coming along. On to the next phase. Entering post-production mode, I was very scatterbrained, to be honest, because, you know, like I had been on straight go mode for months at this point, and I still had all of this work to finalize. Now we're entering holiday season. It's literally a few weeks before Thanksgiving. Like, I'm preparing to go home for the first time in 7 months, right? Like, since I hadn't been back to South Carolina, where I'm from, since I had moved back in April. And so I was preparing for that. On the 9-to-5 front, I was starting to experience this huge like mental shift. And so I was battling that, and then just thinking about all of the other brand logistic details that I needed to finalize before the launch. So it was definitely a crazy time. But my first priority was definitely to get the website done. You know, now that we had all of the visuals, I could get to work on that. And so I took those brand assets that Erica designed. How sweet of her. I took the logo, the color she chose, the fonts, and I actually designed the website myself using a lovely base template from Showit. And then I got to work on editing the podcast episodes and all the teasers and all the promos. I don't have an official like definition for it. Maybe I will insert one by the time this comes around. I don't know. But you know, to me, I think it would be funny to add something in there. Okay. Where caption. Okay. Oh. Okay. I just think that would be funny. So many people ask me, what did it feel like to finally launch? And honestly, I really don't have a good answer right now because I don't think the full magnitude of what I've done and what we've created has fully hit me yet. It was such a whirlwind. We first announced the brand on December 1st, 2022, and then the last Thursday of the year, December 29th, was when we dropped the season 4 podcast trailer. And then the first Thursday of 2023, January 5th, was when the season first premiered, the first episode. And even now, like filming this interview, it's not even been a full month since the season premiere. And so, yeah, I can't give you a concrete answer as to how it really feels because it hasn't fully hit me yet. I'm not quite sure when it will, but I will say that, you know, in the little pockets of time where I have to, you know, breathe and the 5 minutes I have to reflect before my mind goes in a million different places again, you know, it's definitely been validating, and especially seeing the initial response from people. Like, it's been so cool to see people really tap into the vision and what we've created and to like ooh and ah over the visuals and like really be impacted by like the topics that we're covering and to see like the dialogue that it sparks and hear all that. So that's been really, really fun. I think if I could leave something with anyone watching this right now, I just would be open about the fact that, listen, I don't always get it right. You know, even with this documentary, right? I'm sure, you know, like there is a motorcycle out there that I'm not even sure if you guys could hear right now. You know, there's other sound issues that I may need to improve on. There's production mistakes and cinematic oversights and, you know, other like technical improvements that can be made or that need to be refined. But even through all of that, I still feel like I have a competitive advantage because I possess key characteristics, key features that most others don't, and that is a willingness to seek, an openness to learn whatever it is I find, you know, when I seek, and then the discipline to apply that knowledge, you know, even if it's a rough first start, which, heads up, it always is. The reason why I created this documentary wasn't to have some big clap for Khala moment. It was to inspire other storytellers who may not have hit yet, right? Who may not have had their viral moment, the underdogs who don't have the immediate success or all the major social clout. Not that there's anything wrong with any of that stuff or wanting to have any of that stuff, but, you know, for the people who have been playing the long game and you may not be getting the results that you want to as fast as you want to, and it may feel discouraging, and you may be thinking, you know, like, I'm so happy for these other people, I'm so proud of what I'm doing, I know this is what I'm doing, but damn, like, when is it gonna be my turn? When is it gonna be my time? And I made the decision that for me, as a fellow underdog, that now is my time. I had the audacity to create a documentary film about a brand that no one knew existed. But I did it because years down the line, when Boujee Boss Media is a household name, when we are one of the biggest media conglomerates in the world, because that will happen, I can look back on this season of my life, of my career, and remember where I started so that I stay hungry and I never lose focus, never lose sight of what our purpose is. And that's to tell disruptive stories.